Hello, I'm Vine and today I have for you a Needle Saint character build. This time I was asked for it as one of you guys wanted to see a Sword Saint character build. And it just so happens that I'm kinda an expert on Magus builds since it always was my favorite class. Never did a build though, since I thought everyone already knows the most minimaxed builds for every archetype of this class and there is no need for more flexible options that I provide. Nevertheless, if there is demand, there is supply. So, I have for you a dexterity-based Sword Saint Duelist build that is compatible with tabletop and both CRPGs. And before someone in the comments tries to correct me, Sword Saint archetype exists in Tabletop Pathfinder 1st edition. It's named Kensai and functions almost the same. All cards just changed the name for some reason. Not the first, not the last naming confusion in Pathfinder. With this out of the way, let's start with attributes. We need 18 points in dexterity and at least 14 points in intelligence. Charisma is a dumb stat for this build, since characters that study the blade rarely engage in social events and tend to wear cringy hats. During leveling, increase dexterity or intelligence as you wish. Also, if you wanna go full into defense later on, you can switch values of dexterity and intelligence, although from my experience this is absolutely not necessary for high AC. For race, we need to choose any that gives attribute bonus +2 to dexterity and intelligence. That narrows the choice to elves, basic tieflings, kinkitsunes and Vetala-born vampires. From skills, we need 2 ranks in Acrobatics and Perform in Tabletop or 2 ranks in Mobility in CRPGs. Next are levels and feats. Here we have to start with the Sword Saint, a special archetype of Magus that adds intelligence bonus to his armor class and have to choose a favorite weapon at the start of the game. We have to choose an Estoc, a monstrous needle that is a dexterity-based one-handed weapon with 2d4 damage and 18 to 20 times 2 critical. Fun fact time! Did you know that Pathfinder Estoc is not really an Estoc? You see, in real life Estocs are almost exclusively two-handed weapons. Of course, you can use them with one hand, but they were not designed for it. To be absolutely fair, Tabletop Pathfinder allows two-handed usage of Estoc as martial weapon, so technically intent of faithful translation between life and a game is there somewhere. But in real life exists an Estoc twin that is the same one-handed needle we have in-game. It's Kensai, a popular cavalry weapon used in Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and its neighborhood. On average, it's even longer than Western Estoc and is a design crossover between a sword and a lance. Pathfinder merged those two weapons together and chose the name that was easier to pronounce for the English audience, creating another naming confusion. The more you know. Anyway, back to the build. As for first level feat, we must take weapon Finesse to properly use our War Needle. Next on third level is Piranha Strike, a dexterity version of power attack that will reliably increase our damage. But this feat can be changed to power attack itself if you somehow got 13 strength or if you have access to any feat that adds dexterity to damage dealt by Estoc. More about that later. As for Magus Arcana, here and later take what you want. Sword Saints burn almost all arcane points on Perfect Strike anyway. On 5th level we take Dodge and from Magus bonus feat we take Combat Mobility. Those two feats are required by the Duelist Prestige class. 7th level is typically left open for customization. Feel free to take here Outflank for the party opportunity attacks on critical hits. Also remember that Duelist gets combat reflexes on 4th level, so we don't have to care about increasing the number of opportunity attacks. On 9th level we take improved critical Estoc. Sword Saint's Critical Perfection class feature allows us to ignore base attack bonus requirements for this feat. On 11th level, we switch to Duelist and take Weapon Specialization Estoc, but this feat can be changed to Piranha Strike if you haven't taken it earlier. All levels from now on are in Duelist class and feats are customizable as you wish. I recommend aiming for Blinding Critical or use Trickster Critical feats in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, but you can also freely take any roleplay flavor feats here. Now about adding the dexterity bonus to damage dealt. Tabletop and Wrath of the Righteous give access to the Mythic weapon Finesse feat that does exactly that. Just take it and it's done. But we do not always have access to this feat. CRPGs solve the problem with the Fencing Grace feat that we can take with any piercing weapon, and it works with spell combat with no issues. Tabletop's Fencing Grace works only with rapiers and does not work with spell combat. Of course, you can always ask the DM to just ignore the rules as written or switch to rapier for damage boost outside of spell combat, but those are build patches, just use Mythic weapon Finesse. Also yes, I know that in Tabletop there is a third solution, but that's for a different Kensai Dex build. Next, a little about armor class bonuses. Both Sword Saint and Duelist add intelligence bonus to armor class. That means it's added twice to AC, once from each class, and it works rules as written in CRPGs and Tabletop. Since those are different class features and the dodge bonus is fully cumulative. But be careful with it, as this is technically an exploit and in the Tabletop DM may not allow it. Similar thing occurs with Braces of Armor and Haramaki that we can use. Braces of Armor provides armor bonus. Haramaki, being armor, gives +1 armor bonus and possible enchantment bonus. Armor bonus from Braces of Armor does not cumulate with Haramaki's +1 armor bonus, but does cumulate with Haramaki's enchantment bonus. So, equipping Braces of Armor +5 and Haramaki +5 gives +10 AC. Again, rules exploit, but it works raw. Use it. That was a lot of explaining. Now, time for evaluation. In Tabletop, it's a quirk. Even if this build rides on exploits, mythic feats and one of the best finesse weapons, it's just a quirky tank that cannot be tanked in every situation, as he loses bulk of AC when flat-footed and kinda ignores his saving throws. But this is still the tankiest version of Magus there is, and Spell Strike combined with Perfect Strike makes him a reliable party member. In CRPG, it's a tank. CRPGs are much more combat focused than Tabletop, with much less occasions to be flat-footed and easy buffs to cover saving throw issues. No matter the game difficulty, everybody just misses the Needle Saint and gets perfect critical straight to the face. As for the roleplay, it's the Blade guy. While party members were doing potions, he studied the blade. While party members went to a brothel, he practiced the blade. While party members were looting the dungeon, he used the blade. Now that the demons are here, they are all unprepared, except for him, for he studied the blade. So, what do you think about this build? Write your opinion in the comments and see you later!